In this video, we're going to compare the sound of the Samson Q2U to the Rode PodMic. Let's jump right in. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing great. So we are in OBS Studio, and we have a Samson Q2U over here and a Rode PodMic, and it's the OG PodMic. So I do have a screen on it as well, and this one is actually from the Rode PodMic USB, so it fits both. Bro, what is going on? And again, you guys, I have a speech problem, so if a certain setting sounds better, probably use this because it's going to come through harsher, right, with the S's. Yeesh. So right now, the audio is coming from the Samson Q2U, and let me jump over to the actual Rode PodMic, and then we're going to kind of go over what is going on. Okay, cool. So this is the Rode PodMic. I do wonder what the difference is, and yeah. And I'm going to go over the effects I actually apply to make it, I guess, crispy. So let's kind of go over how these are hooked up. So let's hop over to the Samson Q2U. So this one is actually straight into the computer via USB. Super simple, cheap option. And again, I will put links down below if you want to get something of this sort. Awesome. So now let's hop over to the actual Rode PodMic. Okay, cool. So this is actually installed via XLR to a Zoom H6, acting as an audio interface that then goes into your computer, right? So here's how it sounds. You can kind of hear it. Actually, let me take off the actual screen, and then you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Okay, cool. Here's the Rode PodMic, and again, it's the OG one, the first gen, and this is how it sounds like. I only have this foam piece only because of the spit, because as you actually speak, you spit, and if you are not the only person that's going to use the actual windscreen, you don't want the other people trying to spit into your mic. So it's all up to you. And this one does have an, I guess, a pop filter in there, and the Samson Q2U does not. So, you know, it all depends. So now let's hop over to the Q2U and let's see what we got going on here. Cool. So, and again, these have not been altered in any way. So right out of the box, how does it sound? Right. So let's hop into the actual QUU effects, and I already have all these already set up. So let's bring this to the side here. So if you want to use some of these, awesome, right? And let's see what we got here. So here's all the options I actually have on mine. I actually use, right? So I only have this noise suppression for if I have a fan on in here, because sometimes I do. So let me turn it on as I'm speaking. Okay, cool. And we are in the again, Samson Q2U. So this is the R in noise, and I'm just gonna go in and kind of go on and off with all these effects, so you can kind of hear it. So this is the speaks, all right, and it's suspension. I'll go a little bit slower so you can kind of hear what that actually sounds like. All right, cool. All right, awesome. And I don't really use that one a whole lot. I use this one mainly, but I believe it does alter it a little bit, right? So let's turn that off because I don't have the fan on right now. All right, let's go over to noise gate, and here are the settings right here. If you want to copy these, this is all up to you guys. Do test recordings, because you're like, oh, it sounds good here, but after it's already said and done, it's like it's harsh, as in why I'm actually doing this video for all the S's, right? So let me turn off the noise gate, and let me turn it back on, and let me turn it off because I don't really use it too much. I just wanted to kind of hear how it sounds. So now the compressor is on, right? And here are the settings for the compressor. And again, I'm not going to hop it into all these, but as you can kind of see, if you want to put an output gain on this, cool. I would say start like your normal volume going in, have it hit about between -15 and -10, right? All up to you. So let me turn on the compressor, and all that does is like your highs and lows are going to be compressed. So it's going to be somewhat even as you're speaking, as your highs and your lows, depending on how high you're talking, right? Depends, right? So let me turn that actually off. Now we are on the limiter, right? I have it set to the -1. You have some people set to about, actually, let me set it to -3 because you don't want your stuff to peak if you're playing a game, if you're doing something and you yell, right? Yeesh, right? So I have it set to -3, so it should kind of come down. And again, guys, I have a speech problem, so I be saying like highs and lows all the time because I want to just like spit it out, right? And guys, I've heard all this. Okay, anyways, and then let's turn that off, and then the gain. I would only use this gain if for some reason you can't get to the normal range, right? All up to you. And you can increase this if you use a certain app to edit all your stuff. You could increase the gain on that as well. But why not just make it good now so you don't have to change anything? So your gain, right? So let me turn all this on and real quick. So I have a compressor, I have the limiter, and the gain. So after all said and done, I want my my input gain after all said and done to be around -3 to -2. That's my personal thing, right? And again, you could alter it as well, right? So now let's hop over to the actual Rode, and we'll hop into that. And I'm gonna leave these on. You guys let me know down below what you actually use, right? And I'll hop onto it, guys. I've watched a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh, this sounds good. Ooh, this is too harsh, right? And it all depends on your mic. So now we are on the Rode PodMic, and as you can kind of see, the normal input's about the -12, right? And let's hop into the effects or the filters, right? The expander here. I don't really use this one, but I have it here, all for whoever, right? Let me bring this to the side. You got the expander here. Here's all the settings here. If you want to use these, let me turn it off real quick and then talk and then turn it back on. And if you want to use this, you can. I don't, but up to you. The noise suppression. Let's hop over to the art and noise. I use this one. Again, if I have on a fan, cool. And let me actually turn this off because I don't have a fan on. The 3-band equalizer. This is all up to you. Here's how they actually sound. Let me turn these all to 0, as close as I can get it to 0. And then we're going to kind of go up and down on all these. And it all depends on what you kind of sound. So you can kind of hear this. I'm sure you can kind of hear me a little bit, I guess, off, right? And okay, cool. I think I had this set to like 3 or something. Then we're gonna go your mid. You can kind of hear that. All right, cool. And ooh, I was peaking on that. That is crazy. That's intense right there. And then over here, you can kind of go to the low side of things. Awesome, cool. And again, we are on the Rode PodMic, and I do have the wind screen off. Actually, let's take the windscreen off so you can kind of, I guess, hear it as if you were going to have the Rode PodMic. Because, guys, it looks cool. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of people have it because it's simple and it looks cool, and it has an internal pop filter, right? I don't even know if that helped or not. Now let's turn on let's turn off the 3-band equalizer. We're going to turn on the compressor. Here's the settings for the compressor here. The output gain is at 8, which is no joke. And I wonder how this sounds. I will have to kind of go back and kind of hear how this sounds and be like, okay, this sounds good. Because in most cases, all you need is a compressor and a limiter here, right? Let me turn on the limiter, and I have it set to right now to -1. But if you want to be safe, I guess I would set it to the -3. For some reason, if it jumps past that, if you get scared, or if you like, I don't know, you're doing something cool, right? And if you guys look at the volume, right, it's it's being good. And again, you can alter how loud and how quiet you actually use these down here, right? So we're speaking into that. So if you're just kind of talking, you come back on the dB, it should drop everything down. So that is up to you. If you're doing stuff like me, as in I speak on certain things on screen, you will have to compare that as well as in how loud it is on. Like I do reactions, so you have to make sure you're a little bit louder than what you are going to react to. So they kind of hear you as well as the actual thing that is playing, right? And again, guys, do test recordings. That is huge. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. Let me put this pop filter back on because I wonder if the pop comes in and all that stuff. Like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.